Hello. Welcome to the PHNX Daily Bet Show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Make sure to download today using the code PHNX. For all new users, you'll get $200 in free bets when you place just $1 on any NFL game. I'm your host, Shane Diefenbach, and I'm joined by my boy, the coverage cornerback of everything Arizona Cardinals, Johnny Venerable. How you doing, Johnny?
Shano, what's the good word, brother? Yeah, we're here, PHNX Daily Bets. Excited to kick off gambling, sports gambling in the desert with style with DraftKings on our brand new daily show. We're here to help you, educate you, give you some tips, and just talk sports gambling.
Yeah, man. I'm stoked. I mean, it's been in the talks for a while. It's finally here, bringing the heat, trying to make some money, maybe not lose enough, but we'll see what happens. I thought it'd be a good idea for our users to try to get to know us a little bit. If we just threw out a betting story, some of our favorites. I'll let you kick it off and just let the users know what you're about.
Yeah, for sure, brother. Yeah, I bet on the Cardinals a lot, so typically I don't make a ton of money, although they are historically good against the spread. But I mean, listen, been consistently gambling for the better part of 5 or 6 years. On a multitude of apps. By the way, the best app, of course, is DraftKings Sportsbook app, promo code PHNX. But, man, something that hits home. I had a parlay that was busted back in 2015. If you can remember that dreaded Michigan State game. I think it was Harbaugh's second year. And I had Michigan plus the points, and they fumbled the punt return with like seconds left. And all they would have had to do was recover the fumble and kneel the ball down, good to go. Parlay would have paid out over $500, busted my entire parlay. And that was supposed to be the game I felt most confident about. I hit on a couple unique bets earlier in the day. And so I have not bet on Jim Harbaugh since then. It's probably a good move.
Yeah. Man looks good in khaki pants, though. I'll tell you what.
He does.
Yeah. So for me, I recently I was in Vegas, and I went to try to get a ticket for just a easy 3-team parlay as well. And it was during all the conference tournaments, and it was Virginia to cover. I asked for the money line originally.
And
I got the bet slip, and I saw that it was the spread, and I was like, that's a little more juice, and it's only like -2.5. Who cares? Terrible idea. Always Virginia covers easily. And then the other one was Illinois. They're favored by 2.5. They only won by like 5 or something. And the last one was USC. They were playing UCLA. And they're down like 8, and they make this crazy run. And I know it's just going to give me hope for no reason. So they get the last possession, and they're down by 2 points with 3 seconds to go. Under the basket, inbounding the ball. And instead of running a play to get to the basket, they're going for the win. So, of course, hit a 3 with like 0.5 left on the clock. They win by 1. They were supposed to cover 1.5.
Man.
Everything was tragic that night. I was on the floor for about 10 minutes. My good friend Ben Lima was holding my hand, making me feel comfortable. Vegas floors, they're pretty comfortable in the hotel rooms. I'm not going to lie.
Man.
Pretty nice.
Those are the ones that eat your soul, and the only way to get through it is to continue to put money down on games that you haven't invested nearly enough information on, for better or worse. So you have to just gamble your way through it. And we'll help you do that here on this show.
Yeah, if you lose enough money, maybe you'll end up betting on KBO with me, and you'll stay up till 3 a.m. and you feel a deep, dark pit in your soul. Speaking of deep, dark pits, let's talk about college football week 1 in the Big 12. Did you see that guy that threw $10 on a 14-team parlay, and it was all underball? It was everything he bet unders. And, of course, I mean, in hindsight, it's smart because it's week 1. Teams aren't ready to go. And it ended up winning. 14 unders paid out over $80K.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Well, and it's like you didn't have a season for a lot of these teams last year. The offseason's been compromised by the ongoing pandemic. To your point, teams are out of sync. And I think we're going to see some of the same things not only this week in week 2, but with the NFL slate as well. As much as I love points and I never want to bet unders. It's just not something that it's ingrained in me to bet the over because I want to see points and I want to see excitement. But kudos to that person, man. I would never have that foresight.
No, not a chance. So I'll start us off with one of my favorite picks for this weekend with college football. Might sound a little weird because of their showing in week 1, but I actually like Washington to cover the +7 against Michigan. It sounds weird, but Montana's not that bad. You should never lose to an FCS team. I'm not saying it's excusable by any means, but Montana has a great defense. Their coaching staff with Bobby Hawk is fantastic at the helm. And if Washington doesn't win this game coming up, if they don't play competitively, Sam Heward, the backup quarterback, is going to be breathing down his neck, Jimmy Lake's neck, to put him in. Even though after the game, Jimmy Lake did say, "This is our guy. Dylan Morris is our guy." After throwing 3 picks, you never know what happens. I don't know if they win the game, but I do like them to cover +7.
I like that game. I also like Illinois +10 against a Virginia team that I think is a big time fraud. Listen, Illinois is not some power, but they do have a new head coach, and Brett Bielema, all he does is win over 60% of his games, especially in the Big Ten when he was at Wisconsin. Illinois out-physicaled a Nebraska team that I think is going to fire their head coach at any point. When's the last time Virginia's been worth their salt as a football program? And they're going to be +10 against anybody. I'm not sure if the Illini pulled out with the victory on the road, but I don't think Virginia offensively is going to be able to supersede 10 points. So I think that's an easy one for this weekend.
Yeah, well, speaking of Illinois, I want to shout out my mom. It's her birthday today. She went to the
Hey, happy birthday, Shane's mom.
Happy birthday, Paula. We love it. We love it. So
gambled away all of his money for your gifts here on DraftKings.
Yeah, it's gone.
Hopefully double down this weekend.
Right here, yeah. Woo. So let's see. Next pick, I like Utah.
Okay.
To cover -7 in the holy war against BYU. BYU beat Arizona, but Arizona hasn't won a game in more than 700 days at this point. Utah looks good. Their defense is awesome, as always. Their defense is always so good, so competitive. Stack the box, do whatever, drop back, doesn't matter. Utah will come to play on the defensive end. They ran 31 times for 188 yards and really shouldn't have an issue winning by more than a touchdown against a BYU team that I just wasn't impressed by.
Yeah, Utah's a real program. I mean, really, ever since they joined the Pac-12 or Pac-10, whatever that conference is called now, they've been a consistent contender. They churn out NFL players. I like that pick. I also like, and this is a big one to swallow, I like Ohio State to cover 14.5 against an Oregon team that I think is a little bit fraudulent. They barely squeaked out a win against Fresno State. I don't think they're great offensively, so I also would be keen on maybe looking at the under in that game. But Ohio State is just so explosive. And listen, all week, Ohio State has been told, you underachieved against Minnesota. You're not as good as you used to be. You don't have Justin Fields. Well, CJ Stroud, all he did was throw 4 touchdowns.
That's it.
And Minnesota State, unlike Fresno State, is a real program with PJ Fleck. So I think Ohio State rolls Oregon, even though I like some of Oregon's personnel defensively. Oregon travels to Ohio State in that environment. I think that probably is going to be close for maybe about a half, and then Ohio State, with their elite talent, puts their foot on the gas. I do think that they cover the 14.5 point spread.
Yeah, that the only thing that people want to talk about now is how poor Ohio State's showing was in that first half. But if you just take that fourth quarter of that Ohio State game and look at it, that is an Ohio State team. Like through and through, that is an Ohio State team. They looked like an Ohio State team.
They outscored Minnesota, who Minnesota is going to be a ranked team throughout the entire course of this year. They have a real team that will probably be somewhere between 15 and 25 most weeks. They outscored them 35-7 in the second half. Pretty
incredible stuff. Let's send it to our prop picks. I'll start us off. So I'm glad this podcast didn't start a couple weeks ago, because I would have been staring at you guys right into the lens, talking my ass off about Iowa State and how fun and electric their offense is and all this. And they did not play well. They won by 6 points. They scored 16 total. against and what was it, Indiana team that wasn't very good. No, the Iowa played Indiana. But they're playing Iowa this week, and the prop I like is Iowa to score first at plus 105 on DraftKings. Iowa's defense was incredible. As I said, they held Indiana 6 points. And the Iowa State offense, it's fun, and I like it. And as much as I want it to succeed, Northern Iowa, that's who they played. They were 29-point favorite, and they only won by 6. So I like Iowa to score first in that game.
It's a great point. Kirk Ferentz has that program humming, and they had a little bit of a down year last year, and they looked the part last Saturday. Can I give you some props in the NFL? Is that allowed? Can I do that? Since it's not our Football Friday, but I do want to dabble because we have an NFL game tonight. So a couple props to keep in mind this year when you're thinking about our homegrown Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray right now, plus 1,700 to win NFL MVP, or maybe plus 1,600. Plus 1,600. So if you bet $10 on Kyler Murray to be league MVP, it's going to pay out $170. So you can go do that right now. That's like, Panera money. That's like Starbucks money. Go do that on DraftKings. I also like 2 rookies that have decent shots for the team to at least be in the rankings for offensive and defensive rookie of the year. Xavier Collins has the same odds. It's the 6th best odds to win defensive rookie of the year. And then at plus 1,400. And then Rondale Moore is also in the running at, I believe, 1,600. So if you're doing a little sprinkling, a little dabbling on the app today, you got, a little bit of disposable money to kick around. Those are some fun ones to keep in mind because, it just incentivizes you to root for your favorite players throughout the year.
How much time would you need to shave off your 40 to beat Rondale Moore in a race?
I would tear both of my ACLs simultaneously, and then to do this show, I would have to be propped up to talk about props.
I think that'd be a really good segment. I don't know what we'd call it, but it'd be.
Rondale Moore and I are actually the same height. We're both 5'6", but he's just a much superior human being in every way.
Yeah, let's answer a question.
Let's go Giants winning the World Series. Thoughts?
Johnny, take that away. I know Egan.
I think they're overachieving in the regular season because I don't think the Dodgers care about the regular season. I think the Padres are more talented. What they're doing is commendable. Certainly with their payroll, their manager kind of got raked over the coals last year, so I'm happy to see him have success. But no, I think they could be a one-and-done team in the first round.
I mean. The Giants, yeah, they're like this. They're like this little kid that finally got their shot on the football field. And Pop Warner, who somebody like you, Johnny, who a little shorter, but has that oomph factor to him. And they're playing well right now. But yeah, it's the money thing for me. I mean, the Dodgers are just the addition of Trey Turner. First of all, did you see Trey Turner's slide like a month ago when he just put into home and said that was so cool? That was so cool. But I would like to see it happen to be fun, but I'm sorry, I don't think it will.
They don't have the horses. They're a team that reminds me a lot of those. Remember those Oakland A teams recently that max out at like 100 plus wins in the regular season, and then like the Moneyball doesn't work out. I know they're not a Moneyball team per se. I just think they have a ceiling on their success.
Yeah.
One more question.
All right, let's hit it.
Mac Jones, offensive rookie of the year odds.
Nick, we'll get into that in a second. First, we have we're gonna go with a segment we would like to do pretty often. It was hard for me to pick one tonight, but this is the lock it up segment. This is our lock of the night. This is what we will say we enjoy the most, but it shouldn't mean it is a lock because nothing I say is a lock. I lie a lot, okay? So don't take this as the truth. But Johnny, kick us off. What's your lock of the night? Who do you like tonight?
Oh, NFL season kicks off tonight. Dallas at Tampa. Super Bowl champion Bruce Arians and company. We know him well in the desert, and we also know his defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles. I think the lock of the night, Tampa -9 against Dallas. I think they cover it. I think the game's a blowout. Listen, Dak Prescott hasn't played competitive football in almost a full year. They're without starting right guard Zach Martin, who is unquestionably their best offensive lineman. Todd Bowles' defense was humming at the end of last season. All they did was reinforce it in the offseason. They took an elite edge rusher in the first round. I think Todd is going to have his second coming as an NFL head coach. this time next year, he's going to be hired by somebody, maybe the Cardinals. If things don't work out with Cliff, I just think that it's going to be the number one defense in the NFL. I think it starts tonight. I think Dallas ends up probably backdoor covering to get the over-under. I think they sniff around maybe 20, 21 points. But I think Tampa, with their weaponry, Dallas's defense is still very below average. I think Tampa, to me, covers easily.
Yeah. I'm going to stay in the same game with you. But just like we were talking about week 1 college football, it's week 1 NFL. Not too different coming off a COVID season. I don't know if everybody's been watching Hard Knocks, but Dak still, there's something there. There's something. Zeke looks good. Lost some weight. He looks good. He might not be eating as much, but Dak, there's just something there. The pitch count they had on him. I mean, he might go out there and throw 5 times. I lie, but to me, I think the under is a lock tonight. I really do. The 52 points is a lot of points. Tampa's defense is just so damn good. They got everybody back. Everybody on that defense that was an important part is back. I don't see a way that the Cowboys score more than 3 touchdowns tonight. I just don't see it. So I'm taking the under tonight.
Yeah, they're just so much is expected of this Tampa team. People are talking about them like going 16-1 or 17-0. And while I think that that's asking a little much, I could see that. I don't feel confident in the over-under either way, but I do feel confident that Tampa is going to cover easily.
Yeah, I don't feel confident much, but confidence is needed when you have $200 in free bets. And DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NFL, is live in Arizona with mobile sports betting just in time for football. DraftKings is giving all new customers a can't miss offer to celebrate the return of the NFL season. Bet just $1 on any football game this weekend and receive $200 in free bets instantly, no matter what. That's right. DraftKings Sportsbook is all new to giving all new customers $200 in free bets instantly when they bet at least $1 on any football game. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code PHNX to receive $200 in free bets when you place $1 on any game week 1 in the NFL. That's promo code PHNX to get your free $200. I don't know why you wouldn't do this. This week at DraftKings Sportsbook, and official sports betting partner of the NFL, 21 plus, Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Eligibility restrictions apply. Max $50 wager, 1 per customer. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. This mic is assaulting me. It will not stop coming up.
I guess don't download the app if you don't like free money. But if you do like free money and you want to gamble with some free money, download the app.
And not just the promo, or not just the $200, but the promo bets they're doing right now. You know what my lock of the night is, Johnny? It's Tampa to cover plus 73. That's a real promo on DraftKings right now. I'm not kidding. Plus 73. Lock it up, seal it, put it in a safe. Plus 73. I think Tampa covers that pretty easily.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. We've got somebody in the chat that says free $200 could be a great way to pay back my student loans. Gambling is a great way to pay back your student loan debt, and I encourage that.
Yeah, I encourage. That's a good thing to spend that money on. So I think we'll wrap it up with one more segment. This is going to be one of my favorite segments of the year, because you can say these picks with confidence, because if they hit, everybody remembers it, and if they don't, nobody does. I will make sure you remember it if one of these picks hit, and I don't promise. One of them might hit. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
One of them might hit.
Okay.
So this is our frequent flyers segment. This is when we pick something out there, maybe a future prop for a player, maybe something that we see could happen, but the odds are good. They're in your favor. They might not happen, but if it does, money. So my first pick, this is a guy I really like. He's in 2 of my fantasy leagues as my starting running back. I love Najee Harris to lead the league in rushing touchdowns by the end of the year. I think he is a workhorse. The negative things you hear about him now is this advanced stats crap about his explosiveness. Who cares? He's going to get so many touches. You think Ben Roethlisberger, with that floppy arm he's got now, is going to be able to throw the ball past 25 yards? No. When they're inside the red zone, they run the ball. They run the ball a lot. You saw what they did with James Conner, and Najee Harris is going to be better than James Conner. He is a good running back. He's an Alabama guy. He's solid. He's going to score the ball. The odds on DraftKings right now are plus 4,000. Come on. It's just a flyer. Just a flyer.
Just a flyer. Just a flyer. I want to go for a flight, and I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions over under 4.5 total wins for this season. And it's not just because they open up with San Francisco and I want to see Kyle Shanahan and Trey Lance take an L there, but I just think that Dan Campbell, when he was the interim coach in Miami, for folks that remember, I think he had like a 4-5-0 start. I think he's going to get the most out of this team in the short term. They don't have a ton of talent. It's a long season. They could be playing some of their best football early, though, because we really don't know what to expect. They're going to run the ball. I think they'll keep games close. I mean, I think they could sleepwalk their way to 5 or 6 wins. You look at the Chicago Bears, who got turmoil at head coach, uncertainty at quarterback. I think their roster has taken a little bit of a plunge. And then Minnesota, all the dysfunction with Kirk Cousins. Mike Zimmer's on the hot seat. And I do think the Packers just take a step back from being like a 15-win team to maybe like a 13-win team. So all that to say, I definitely think that Matt Patricia was a dumpster fire last year for Detroit. I don't think the Lions are some world beater, but I do think they can eclipse 4.5 wins right now.
You're not saying Jared Goff is an elite quarterback?
Well, he is undefeated against the Cardinals since his rookie year, but that
Sean
has
McVay's undefeated against the Cardinals.
So.
Sean McVay did that. Jared Goff looked to the sidelines. When we were doing our run through of this show, I compared Jared Goff to a dog being put down, and our main boss Saul didn't like that one too much. So
maybe don't use that analogy. We love our pets here, so
yeah. I don't support dogs being put down by any means. Anyway, so here's my second flyer. The odds aren't as good. It's defensive rookie of the year. I like Kwity Paye from Michigan. This man is 6'2", 260. His 3-cone drill. Have you heard about this? His 3-cone drill. He ran a 6.37. Okay, those numbers probably don't mean anything to a lot of people listening. To put that into perspective, Von Miller, one of the fastest edge rushers and most insane human beings to ever play on the defensive end, this man ran a 6.88 3-cone. Kwity Paye is way bigger than him. 6'2", 260, I said. 6'2", 260. He might not be as polished, but if that guy gets some good schemes and he starts coming off the edge, he could get his way to 10 sacks. And that's DPOY material, or DROI, Defensive Rookie of the Year material. And I like that at plus 1,200 on DraftKings right now.
That's really enticing, especially when you consider that Indianapolis defense is loaded statistically, and they just haven't had that quintessential edge rusher, and they're going to be trying to run the football out with Carson Wentz. And so I think that they're going to be able to pin their ears back defensively. He could be on a pitch count somewhat to start his career, but I did see him blow up a couple offenses in the preseason. So I'll second that. I will say Kwity Paye has a fine opportunity to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, especially when you look at guys who historically win it. Nick Bosa, pass rusher, right? These guys who are off the edge, they get those gaudy stats. So while I still like Xavier Collins at plus 1,400 to be in the mix, and I do think he's going to play 90+% of the snaps, you're probably safer right now to go with somebody that's going to say, hey, I had 10, 11, 12 sacks this year. Plus, while I do think the Cardinal defense is going to be better, Indianapolis defense has an opportunity to lead the league, especially when who they play in that division. You get Houston twice. Tennessee, I think, is a big-time regression candidate. So I'll double down. I think Kwity Paye's got a great shot.
Love it, love it. You got to have a good defense to carry Carson Wentz, especially if he's wearing that, what is it, the military branded arm sleeve. I think he's winless when he's wearing that. Stats aren't good. But that's about all we got. Make sure to go to our website at gophnx.com. Sign up for a membership. We'd love to have you as a part of the family. There is some great content on that site. My guy, Gerald Bourget, just wrote a fantastic story for the Suns. And really, you're going to miss a lot of stuff. I'm going to start doing some video segments for ASU. Come join me at 3:30 in this studio. We got a fire guest. It's going to be a really good time. But that's all we got. Johnny, you got anything to sign off with?
Yeah, check us out on Cardinals Live. Go PHNX Cardinals Live tonight at a special time, 6:30, 7 o'clock tomorrow. Myself, Kirsten Sussel, and the great crew that we have here at PHNX. It's going to be so much fun. I appreciate all of you that have already reached out. Our content is coming fast and heavy. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Peace.